If you can't be good, be careful. That's what my grandfather used to say. I loved it because it meant he still loved me even if I went off the reservation. Or at least that's how I interpreted it. Hey, he'd say, as I was leaving his little home in West Virginia. If you can't be good, be careful. He came from Spain, so the other thing he would say sounded like gibberish to me, and I would say, "What's that mean?" And he would say, "It means be good or I'll kick you in the head." We would laugh, and then he would try to teach me how to say it, but I never could. Never exactly right, anyway. If you can't be good, be careful. What's it mean to be good now? And what's it mean to be careful? I suppose on the face of it, now being good is repeating the narrative of the mainstream media. If you follow CNN's talking points, you are good. Agreeing that this lockdown still makes total sense and that we should all fall in line behind what the government is telling us to be true. I suppose on the face of it, that also would be considered careful. If you can't be good, be careful. Is it possible to be careful if you're not being good? I never even investigated any of that, never looked too deep into it. All it meant to me was, I love you no matter what. But I love you no matter what is something for families of high ideals, maybe even the stuff of fairy tales. People break apart over which version of the narrative they are programming themselves to believe. If you can't be good, be careful. I don't think my grandfather would be starting any revolutions now, though. He liked watching squirrels and taking his dogs hunting in the back hills of WVA. He liked watching football and Larry King, and he loved his family and the simple life. Worked in a factory for most of it, living next to a firehouse before this world caught on fire. If you can't be good, be careful. Turns out it's hard for people to be good or careful. Opiate deaths on the rise, 50% increase, ditto that for suicides, alcohol and addiction. When silence becomes an affliction and you'd rather just numb out than see yourself as a victim. The symbolism of masks, hide here and shut your mouth. They will study this time that we are living through in history books. Whatever books become, whatever history is, you can feel judgment in the air, and even from way off into the future, the breakdown of the psychology of groupthink. Joe Leon, if you can't be good, be careful. I'm gonna go paint that on a wall somewhere. Groupthink. When the fear of being ostracized outweighs your abilities for rational thought. So much of this has stopped making sense, but don't wake up to that. Sirens screaming down the streets, death is in the air. Everyone's faces are covered. It's like the world has become a hospital full of bank robbers. And if you say, hey, what is this? You get called a fascist. Silence is the rule of the day, or be good or I'll kick you in the head. That mask isn't just to stop air going out or in. It's also a promotional item, promoting silence. When we look back at this time in history, will we be judged for our silence? What other times in history were people silent while atrocities occurred? Were they judged? If you can't be good, be careful. Joe Leon took me up those hills in WVA when I was a boy. He called me a Green Beret. I asked him if I needed shoes. He said, no, you're a Green Beret. You can handle it. You can handle anything. Me, Joe, and the dogs wandered up there through the sticks and the mud. My feet hurt, but I kept going. He smiled as the sun went down. We headed home for dinner. I could tell he was proud. He was one of those guys that was always beyond his time. Something about him made you want to earn his respect. And though he was of of very limited financial means, he carried himself with a great deal of dignity. I think he's looking down at me now and waiting for me to take off my shoes. It's time to climb the hill. And if you can't be good, be careful.